welcome back to the shed. Now I've got a question for you. Is Copart saturated? My YouTube feed is absolutely stuffed full of people buying accident damaged cars from Copart and fixing them up. Now a lot of these big channels like Chris Licks and Matt Armstrong, they don't have to worry about the resale value of the car being profitable because they make their money from ad revenue in creating the content in doing the car up. But for the likes of you and me, is it possible to buy a car from Copart and turn a profit on it? Let's find out. So originally I was on the hunt for a BMW X3 like my green one, but with a manual gearbox. And they're pretty rare, and my intention is to do a manual gearbox conversion. So I started having a look on Copart, but initially I was way too afraid of bidding on a car on there and buying it. I had no idea of the process, and it's quite an intimidating sort of thing, especially when you first go there to collect a car. It's quite an intimidating thing. But the longer I looked on there, the more confident I became, and I ended up finding the exact car I was looking for. So it's a 2006 BMW X3 3-litre diesel with a manual gearbox, which is the rare combination. And so I started to bid on this car, decided I wanted it, all the while in the back of my mind thinking I know roughly what a gearbox and all the other associated parts required for a conversion would be worth. So being a bit tight, I didn't want to have to pay for said gearbox. I wanted to be able to buy the car, have the gearbox, all the parts out of it that I wanted, and then sell all the rest of it, maybe as a breaker, and recoup the money. But the bidding went too high and I ended up paying too much for it, and so I wouldn't have been able to recoup that money, even though potentially I had a saleable M57 engine, which is worth a bit, and maybe a set of wheels and stuff. But it's old stuff now that the people just don't really want so much. You know, they haven't got big values. So I wasn't confident that I was going to be able to make my money back. So I then decided, well, let's see if we can put it back on the road, fix whatever problems it may come with, and turn a profit that way, and then keep an eye out for a cheaper manual that may or may not come up at some other point, and do that. So after bidding on the X3 and eventually winning it, I then had the daunting task of driving up to Chester Copart. We got 98 miles to go, just gonna get some diesel and then we're gonna hit the road.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fake. Vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you could say them back. That's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible.
And when I arrived home and started looking over the car, quick summary of the problems: it's in a horrendous state inside and out. The interior looks and smells as if it's been used as a dog kennel, and has obviously been parked out for a long while, judging by the green stuff all over it and the condition of the tyres and the brakes. But generally the bodywork is in very good condition, save for a small bit of accident damage to a rear wheel arch. The bigger issues are mechanical ones, the main ones being a total lack of power and what feels like an irregular but significant misfire. I decided to tackle the biggest problem first, which meant removing the turbo. Eesh. The problem with it is I was having a couple of codes for, I think it was a 4230 code for lack of boost pressure, and then which came up yesterday, and then today I had another code which was talking about turbo control, i.e. actuator. This is the later car, the M57 N2 3-litre diesel, which has a electronically controlled turbo as opposed to vacuum controlled. And I've just taken the turbo out. There's the actuator. Before taking it off, when I was keying on and off, I wasn't seeing it cycle, which is what it should do. It wasn't doing that, so I thought, oh, it must be seized. Either that or the actuator itself has died, which I thought was probably the less likely outcome. But none of that was true, so I've just taken it off. It's been an absolute battle to get it off because I'm in the UK and this is a right-hand drive car. Not that you'd know it from looking down there, because yes, I've had to remove the steering column. Along with the aircon pipe. There's an aircon pipe that comes right down here, and I left it. I really didn't want to take it off, but I've ended up having to, and had I had a video like this to watch beforehand, I would have known to take it off straight away, as well as the steering column, because it would have made life so much easier. Also the lower arch lining as well. Don't be shy, take that off if you're gonna do one yourself. But excuse me, inhaling my own hair. Yes, it's been an absolute pig of a job Not that there's too many things to undo, it's just that there's no access to anything at all. And BMW, in their wisdom, as many of you will be familiar, integrated the lower half of the airbox into the rocker cover, so it completely obscures this side of the engine. And I get why they do it. I'm not going to say it's a bad piece of design. It's a very clever piece of design, actually, but in an effort to make engines much more modular, then this is the price you pay. So but yeah, I've done it, as you can see. I've done it on the ground. I've got no lift or ramp, so it is doable. It is doable, and it comes out. I'll just get underneath and show you what we're looking at. Okay, so there we are. So you can see the flange on the exhaust manifold there. So the turbo is clamped on to the exhaust manifold, so no bolts there, and it's also clamped onto the downpipe, which should go straight into a cat, both of which were very stiff and difficult to release. But there we are. Yeah, so you can see it's pretty tight in there, and if you can imagine, there's a steering column that comes down through here as well, and an aircon pipe, which is nigh on impossible to get to the fitting on top of the air conditioning compressor over there. Yeah, it's a real pig. But basically what you've got, if I can just get a pointer, there's two bolts that hold the turbo on. So the turbo is bolted to a bracket, which is in turn bolted to the block in two places, one here and one across there, and you've got the turbo drain. So getting back to the problem at hand, I noticed it straight away, and the issue was with the actuator arm. It had rusted around the top there and seized to that pin on the little crank there. So that was the only cause of the problem. It's now, you can see now it's freed up. I had to take it off and clean it and lubricate it and whatnot. But as soon as you take it off, you can see that there's no trouble with the turbo whatsoever. I'm not going to start stripping the turbo apart to clean it, which was what my original plan was. I'll just plug this in now and show you again. It's cycling with the ignition to show that the actuator itself isn't at fault either. Yeah, you can see that working sweet. So I'd say that was problem solved. Just got to throw it back together now. I've got everything back together enough now, I think, to take it for a quick spin to see if freeing up the turbo actuator has had the desired effect on power, because I don't trust myself to put it all back together and it will be okay. So I couldn't stand the the depression of having to take it apart twice. It was an absolute nightmare. So we'll fire it up now and see if we can go for a spin. Well, even in first gear it feels better, but we'll give it a bit in second now, and oh yeah, power's back. Way better, massive improvement. I'd say that was as near as damn it full power restored. So when I got this car, although it started and ran fine and appeared to be okay, obviously it had the total lack of boost pressure that we now know is the seized actuator arm, but it also had a quite significant misfire. It would be kind of up and down. Sometimes it wasn't there for a few seconds, and then sometimes it was worse. So it was yeah, quite significant, but there were no fault codes relating to it. Somebody on some obscure forum suggested unplugging the control module for the transfer case, which seems like an illogical thing to do considering there were no fault codes for the transfer case. But I did that, and instantly the misfire disappeared, completely disappeared. It hasn't misfired once since. So I've bought some new oil to do an oil change on the transfer case, but that is the reason why I've got all these warning lights on the dash at the moment, because we're just in two-wheel drive. Well, that's great. We just got a few jobs left to do now. This downpipe is clamped on to the turbo, which you'd think would make it easier than being bolted on like a traditional turbo would have been, but yeah, it's actually a bit of a pain. But there's the clamp anyway. So we'll just try and wrestle that into place. I might not be able to film this because it's so awkward and dark under the car. If you can see that up there, we're lying down underneath the car looking up at the bottom of the engine, and that crinkly thing is the oil drain from the turbo, and that was the main reason I was worried about putting the car all completely back together before testing it, because I damaged it a little bit getting it off that pipe, so I wanted to make sure it was okay. You can see the cat there and the downpipe It's sort of in place now. I'm just trying to wrestle it in place. There's a sort of gasket shim thing that goes in before the clamp goes on, so you need about 10 pairs of hands. So I'm just trying to sort that out now, but it's going in the right direction, so that's good. We've got all this to fit: washer bottle, aircon pipe, covers, air box, a couple wheel arch liners there, strut brace, so all pretty straightforward stuff. Right, we just got a few more plastics and stuff to put on in here now. This old set of Allen keys, so I'm just going to cut this one down so it's got a short end on it. Well, that was well timed. I came in the shed to cut the Allen key down and we had a cloud burst, and so I'll just wait for that to stop and then crack on, probably lying in a puddle. This is so awkward. Oh, there we go. Just a bit. Sorry, I couldn't film that bit very well. It's super awkward in there, but the old cut down Allen key worked a treat, so so that's cool. Shiny. Yeah, they've got a real habit of rusting like mad, the fasteners in the inner arch and stuff in here. So some I've drilled out, but actually I don't need to take the rest of this lining out, so I'll replace the ones that I've taken out, and the rest can just stay there. That's all really good, so that's been successful. There's a bit of a funny noise at the back and need to investigate. Sounds, maybe it's a brake rubbing a bit or something, I don't know. Other jobs to do: that, give it a massively deep clean. There's a few bits to kind of touch up, like the steering wheel, all the paint's flaked. Got to get it MOT'd, hopefully do that next week. I think there's maybe a couple of tyres with like cuts in the sidewall, so probably need to cut the tyres for the test, and then yeah, look to get it for sale and gone, hopefully. Of course, the other thing I just remembered is I've got to plug the transfer case module back in and see if the misfire returns and try and investigate that, because we've now got obviously only 2-wheel drive and warning lights on the dash. So I think I've got some leftover oil from when I did an oil change on my green car, so as I've got it, I may as well do that and see if it helps. New day, jobs for the day: clean the car inside and out. You have a look at the roof, it's absolutely gopping. The interior's minging, absolutely disgusting in here, mold everywhere, paint flaked off. Get a vacuum over the floor, you can see all the matted in dog hair, it's beautiful. But yeah, we'll get it all cleaned up today, just refit the pollen filter tray thing in here and the strut brace, and then that's done from that point of view. But after that, we'll be looking to start sourcing some parts to repair this bit of accident damage here. So once a door, and then there's scuff on the skirt, that's a separate piece there, and then obviously there's a bit of damage on the bumper there. That bit there I'm not quite sure what to do with, because I'm not a bodywork person. We might be able to just make it look a little bit more presentable if I can get some paint and just have a go at, maybe even if I do a bad job, it's going to look better than that. Unfortunately, you just missed Ed China. He just popped round to drop off some more gloves, so that's a shame, but maybe next time. Anyway, let's fit this. Okay, that's pretty much the engine bay sorted, apart from a clean and a pollen filter. The eagle-eyed viewers amongst you might have noticed that although it all looks nasty and corroded here, that it's got what looked to be brand new locking wheel nuts on it. And when I first got the car and I was having a look around it, I was thinking, oh great, new locking wheel nuts, there must be a key somewhere. So I looked in the boot, found the original locking wheel nut key, i.e. the BMW one, but not the new one. So I was thinking, oh God, like I'm then going to be into flipping trying to get that out. But because the person who had the car before was so flipping lazy and messy, the packaging for the new set of wheel nuts was in the back that had the unique code. So I was able to send off to the manufacturer and pay like 15 quid, get the new key, and it turned up the other day and works perfectly. So God knows what was going on there, but I guess they lost the original key and then found it and lost the new one in the interim. Who knows? But dodged a bullet there, because that could have been a nightmare having to do that on 4 corners of the car to get them off, because you can see there's like nasty gash in the tyre and there, so it looks like we're going to need at least a couple of tyres on it. I think this is where I'm going to start with the cleanup operation, so I could be here a while. Well, I think you'll agree that looks a lot better, except for these suspicious stains, which is I'm assuming from the poor incarcerated dog that used to dwell in the back here, and could be a source of some of the horrendous smell in here. But it's getting better. Amazing what a half an hour with a vacuum cleaner will do. So just got to do the backs of the seats there. I'm so glad it's got a leather interior, this, because I couldn't face doing this on cloth seats. Get some multi-surface cleaner on all this skank on here. Then work my way through, do the rear seats and then in the front. I got some products to help, so I'm just gonna shampoo up the carpet. I think a lot of that is actually damage rather than stains, but there's a few in other places as well, just little bits and bobs, but I'm just gonna give it a shampoo just to hopefully cut down on some of the smell, and then going to start cleaning this rear kind of boot shut area, because that's filthy. Shake can well, didn't do that first. Shaking, wobbling. See what that does for us. You'd eat your flipping dinner off that now. Well, the dog probably would. Well, that's gone really well so far. It looks mint in the back here compared to what it did do. Just having a sit down for 5 minutes to rest my arms from all the vacuuming, because I, believe it or not, don't do that much. And I was just taking in the view. It's the time of year. It's April here in the UK, and obviously it's April everywhere, but I'm in the UK, you know what I mean. And we're lucky enough to have oilseed rape planted around in 4 fields around us this year, and I just think it looks really nice. It's it doesn't smell the best, but looks really nice. I love this time of year. I've only had a coffee. Oh, that's better. Right, going to move on to the back seats now. Oh, that'll be another source of the smell then. Some uneaten food. Nice. Seagulls. I keep finding little treats in here. One of them being the plate that goes on there. There we are, yeah, where the tow bar comes out, so that's cool. The other being where the dog obviously used to put its head through to the driver here. That could well be another source of the horrific smell in here. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with that, but I think I might have to get taken out and burnt to cleanse it with fire. But yeah, eBay should hold the answer to that one. Gross, what is that? Eesh. I reckon the window has been open on this a little bit for ages. Look at that tide mark along there. When I went out on the test drive yesterday, I could hear what sounded like external noise in a window open, and I tried to put the window up and it didn't work, and then I went down and back up And I reckon that's where it's been sat. That window has been open ajar all this time, and hence the worst condition on this side than that. Mould and a rusty speaker cover. Yeah, that's been getting wet, isn't it? Defo. Well, how good does that look? That is loads better. Right, just got to move on to the main event now and do the front. I obviously picked the wrong setting on the camera for this bit, so I'll spare you any more of it and we'll move on to the next bit. Right, get rid of that horrible smell once and for all. Bit of auto fresh. Come and take a look at this. What a transformation. No trace of dog. Smells way better. It's actually a place you'd want to spend a bit of time. I'm going to take this off now. Okay, right. I've got the trim off the steering wheel. I'm going to have a go at wrapping it. I did the one in my other X3 and it didn't come out the best. I'm no wrapping expert, but it looked a lot better than what this one does now. So it's be the lesser of two evils. Indeed make a profit on a car that I sourced from Copart. Thanks for watching.